preview night that we did at the end of band camp. So the show is called Propaganda. Now, not to go into complete detail, because we do have one more of these performance nights that we're going to do, but propaganda has so many meanings to it. That word has so many meanings, and that word has become known as almost like a sinister word. And maybe it wasn't necessarily always a sinister word, but it's definitely become it definitely holds that connotation now. So this show that we're putting on tries to encapsulate the essence of what propaganda is. We start off in an imaginary, like a made-up country that is desolated by war and that is, in a dystopian state. We go from that to this voice of hope that leads them to something more unified, and you'll see that within the very first giant set that we hit, which is this arc that crosses the entire field. A very ambitious first hit for a band. We go from 5-yard line to 5-yard line, and we try to produce this really big sound with that. Okay, so that's the first thing. We're unified by this voice of hope, and then from that we rebuild this country, this imaginary country. We're rebuilding it. And then the next movement is it goes from rebuilding in this hopeful time to sort of a military time. Again, now we're like preparing for another war. Then we have in the fourth movement a martyr from that war that appears, and that's kind of our ballad movement. Then when we get to the final movement, which you will not see tonight, but you will see it the next time, is revolution. So it kind of is this imaginary story about this country and this its kind of evolution from dystopian state, growth, and then back in a kind of a book ended, goes back to its dystopian state at the very end. So I want you to kind of watch that with those thoughts in mind. That's sort of the loose story of it. However, what we're trying to convey is these elements of propaganda, and you'll see on these props or these stages, one of the color guard members, we call them the propagandist, and they're leading a charge or inciting a riot, and you'll hear these different things going on, and you'll see the brass that depict the military at one time, and they're over there doing push-ups, and you'll hear some military calls, which we actually got a real actual drill sergeant to do the voiceovers. So we brought him in, did some cool voiceovers, and we've added those in. So that's actually a real drill sergeant doing that. So anyway, that's just kind of some of the basic things that are going on with the show. Kind of gives you an idea of where it's going. You can sort of formulate your own story from there. We've just kind of made up a little story. But really what we're trying to convey is propaganda. What does that mean? How can we convey that on a field in 9.5 minutes? Okay, so I hope you enjoy our 2015 program as it stands so far. We have 2/3 of it done. This is what we'll be marching this Saturday at Owasso, and our performance at Owasso is at 3:15. So if you're so inclined, we'd love to have you there. We'd love for you to be cheering loud for these kids. They work hard. They rehearse every morning, 7 a.m. to 8:20. They rehearse on Tuesday night from 4 o'clock to 7:30. Thursday night from 4 o'clock to 7:30. They go to all games. They march at every home game, a pregame show and a halftime show. And then we play in the stands and support our team and our community at every away game. They also perform at area contests, including the Owasso contest that's this weekend, our own contest that will be the following weekend on October 3rd, the Renegade Review, which is at Union High School on October 10th. We're going to be taking the band for the first time to a national event, the Bands of America Super Regional in St. Louis. And then we, of course, have our state championship marching contest that will be at Edmond, the OPH State Championship, in which this band was awarded the 6A Division II State Championship last year. All right, so this is a very unfinished product, but it's a very entertaining product. If you were here for part of the rehearsal, you probably saw a lot of cool stuff, and you can't wait to see it all put together. Well, that's what you're going to see right now. Remember that we haven't got to that last movement. You're going to have to keep coming and checking us out to get that whole storyline. All right, this is your 2015 Pride of Bixby. Go.
I can't imagine that we will ever be great again. We will be memorialized only by our own fossils. Unless someone saves us. Unless someone rises from our ashes to give us hope. To give us something we can believe.
Now presenting their 2015 show entitled Propaganda, we give you the Pride of Bixby.
Follow me, and I will lead you out of the dark. Our time has finally come. We must unite. We must rebuild. They will listen. They will believe. And without a doubt, they will obey.
for Brian Bixby.